Hello, welcome back to the You Will Be podcast. I'm your host, Tony Knott, or welcome if you were new. This is a podcast that is about mental health and self love and faith and all that good stuff because these are the things that I genuinely enjoy talking about. I love to talk about it with others. I don't get to talk about it to other people very often, so that's why I want to talk about it with you here now. I really hope that you guys are having a great day, whatever day you're watching this, whenever. I just hope that your day is amazing. I'm doing okay. I'm actually going through something that I may open up with you guys about, but right now don't really want to get into it. So yeah, I'm doing okay. When I got off work today, I came up and I checked the mailbox and I noticed that there are some trucks in the driveway. And I was like, what the heck? I can't even get up my driveway. Like, what's going on? There was 2 log trucks and they were big, and then 2 just regular trucks. And a guy starts running up to me, He's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "I live here?" Like, what? And he was like, "Oh, okay. I think if you go this way, you can squeeze in there." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Can you do it for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And I get out of my car. He's like, "Hold my hat." Hold his hat, and then he drives my car, and it's fine. It was weird. Very, very weird. I don't even know what they're doing. I think they're replacing a pole or something. I honestly don't know. I just was not expecting it. Yeah, that's the weird part of my day. How is yours? How is yours going? I hope all is well. So, I kind of just want to get right into the podcast. Today's episode, I wanted to discuss things people with anxiety may do that come across as rude. And if you have anxiety, you really can't help it. It's not like you're asking to have anxiety. I know I'm certainly not. I just wish that I didn't have it. And I know that people say that anxiety is fake, that it's not real. People make it seem like, oh, that's, just don't be nervous. Just don't bite your nails. Just don't do this. Don't have panic attacks. It's like, why didn't I think of that? You're so smart. But the thing is that anxiety is real. And also, anxiety is hard to manage. It really is. If you have anxiety, you know that it is. No matter if you're on medication for it, no matter if you're seeing somebody for it, it still is hard. And it's a part of my everyday life. The first thing that people do is they cancel plans. People with anxiety, they tend to have an excuse. Either they may agree to the plan and cancel last minute, or it may not even just show up. And it's probably because they've experienced anxiety that causes them to cancel plans that they were initially interested in. So, like, let's say your friend calls you up and is like, "Hey, let's go out Friday night." And you're like, "Okay, sounds good." And then Friday night comes, or Friday, maybe during lunch, you're like, actually, no. Like, I'll pass. Or I got sick. Or I'm not going to make it tonight. Does that sound like you? You would rather stay home. And maybe that's just you trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to protect yourself. Like, okay, if I don't go out tonight, I can just stay in my pajamas, or I could just stay on the couch, watch TV, watch my favorite TV show, be comfortable, and not have to socialize. Like, that sounds amazing. Your body just says no, and you stay home because that's what makes you feel the safest. And then the other person on the other line, when the person you canceled on, they're like, "Wow, like, that's rude." And the thing is that I've did this a few times, but not a lot. I typically do follow plans. So something else that somebody with anxiety does that may come across as rude is not responding to calls and text. I am guilty with this one. Well, really all of these, but this one really speaking out to me. Like, why is this? It's because your anxiety holds you back from responding to text messages or calls. If you did end up texting back or calling them, you might experience anxiety, which you try to avoid. So, for example, let's say that you're out with friends and your mom calls you and you remember, oh my gosh, I was supposed to do the dishes before I left. Like, so you see that phone call from your mama, but maybe your mom's just trying to call you to see if you want some Japanese takeout when you get home. She has no idea about the dishes, or she forgot or something. But you remember about the dishes and you're like, wait, she is going to tell me to come home. Like, I'm going to get in trouble. But really, this is just about Japanese. This ain't about you. And that's what I mean. So you just don't call her back. You're like, if I don't call her back, I don't have to hear about the dishes and I'm good. Like, and also, text or calls may overwhelm you because you got to think about what you're going to say. And that's the whole job itself. I mean, think about it. If you have a crush, right? And he's like, call me. Or you're like, call me. And then you give him your number. And he calls you. Like, you see his name on your phone. You just don't answer. Because you're like, what do I say? Like, and then they think, what the heck? Why didn't she answer? Why didn't he text me back? Or what? You know? But really, you're just scared. And that makes it nerve-wracking. But it does come across as rude. Something else, the third thing is getting agitated. Sometimes people with anxiety, they get snappy with people. Maybe you even have a blow up over something small. Maybe the lamp falling over without even meaning to, right? Okay, this is what this reminds me of. If you're having a few people over and you're tired of them being in your house, maybe, okay, let's say it's a Friday night. So people are over at your house. Your husband or boyfriend was like, let's invite them. It'll be fun. And you're like, okay, you wanted to cancel, but you didn't. And so you're agitated. But you try to, you try to shrug it off. You're like, whatever. And you go to the bathroom, you come out, and then there's a lamp right there. You trip over the lamp. And people just start laughing. You instantly are like, seriously? Shut up. And you're just agitated because you want them to leave. That makes sense. I mean, or just like little things like that. Or if you want to go play video games and you can't because all the controllers are being used because of all those people over. And you can't even play your own video games. You can't do what you do every Friday night. You can't play video games. That sucks. You're agitated. I mean, I can keep going, but I'm not. And so something that you can do for this is reducing stress, and like taking a deep breath, like it's okay, they'll leave soon, and then getting some good sleep. Like that does it. Also exercising and trying to contain your anxious thoughts. Anxiety makes people on edge, so the slightest thing can push them over, right? For example, if someone beats on the door, this happens to me. If I'm at work and someone beats on the door, like I'm in a little office and they beat on the door, I jump because it scares me. Not because I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to do. Like, whatever. I'm always on edge. And you're going to sit there and beat on the door. So it does make me mad. And I did address this to the person I was doing it, and they still do it sometimes. Just like something simple like that. Like, it doesn't make everybody mad when she does it to other people's doors, but it does make me mad. I'm always on edge, and I can't sit there. I always have anxiety. So if you're going to sit there and beat on the door and scare the living crap out of me, the best thing you can do for that, if somebody doesn't respect you enough to stop, try your best to reduce that stress, contain your anxious thoughts, and just deep breathing. Okay, so the fourth thing I put on here is distancing from others. People with anxiety often want to focus on themselves because they're trying to think, okay, how do I feel in this moment? Why do I feel like this? right? So people with anxiety get emotionally numb, which makes you not really care for your current relationships. And maybe you do care about them. Let's say you do, but you aren't caring as much as you regularly would care for them. And this goes back to the not texting thing, because you are numb. So that causes distance when you don't text or call back. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I forgot to text somebody back or call somebody back, and then it'll be the next day and I'm like, oh wait. I sometimes do this distancing from others, but Xander, he has to tell me, Tony, they love you. Or Tony, really? You're not gonna go talk to them or whatever. And then I get to thinking, I'm like, wait, you know what? You're right. Like, they would do anything for me. Why am I trying to avoid them? And it's just, it really is sad when I think about it, but that's definitely very rude of me, and I am trying to get better with that. So the fifth thing I put on here, something that people with anxiety do that comes across as rude, is the lack of eye contact. Guilty. I'm guilty for this. I do avoid eye contact at all costs. I don't like it. I wish that I would just make eye contact, but I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. And when I do make eye contact, I just lose my training thought and I just stop talking. Like, I don't know why I do that. I cannot look at somebody in the eye and just talk to them. I gotta look like to the side or down or somewhere else, or I can't think and I just lose my train of thought, you guys. Like, why am I like this? I don't know. I find that if I do make eye contact, then I feel like I'm kind of being judged. I don't know. And that one, I don't really want to elaborate on that one. That one's just plain and simple. Lack of eye contact. But if you do notice, like if you do know somebody that has anxiety, or maybe you have anxiety, look at them and just notice the lack of eye contact. You'd be surprised. You'll be like, yep, that's what Tony was talking about. Or maybe you're the one that has anxiety. Maybe you're like, yep, I lack eye contact. That's me. Number 6 on the list is asking you to repeat things. When you have anxiety, your mind may be in a totally different place. You may have a lot of different thoughts and may make you overwhelmed with those thoughts, also known as brain fog. So, like, when somebody's talking to you and you're thinking about something else, you're thinking about the dog next door. They may even be like, hello, are you going to say something? And you're like, what? That's because your mind's somewhere else. You may be like, what? Can you repeat yourself? And they're like, what the heck? But you were thinking about the dog. Like, you're worried about the dog. Forget this conversation. But the thing is that we don't mean for us to drift off, but we do. And maybe you're just talking about something boring. Maybe that's what that's about. I feel like for me personally, I do drift off because I'm bored. And so I get to thinking about the dog next door. I do get to thinking about it. And then it really makes me lose my train of thought. And then I'm like, wait, what? Like, when I hear an interesting part, I'm like, wait, what'd you say? And then boom, like, that's that. And so the person that I'm talking to may be like, Tony, I just told you this 30-minute story. Why are you asking me to repeat it? Sorry. Something else that people do is not engaging in conversation. Does this sound like you? I find engaging in conversations is just awkward, especially in a group of people, or even like 2 people talking. It's like, okay, how do I cut in or ask him this or that? And I also find it hard to keep a conversation going with some people. So, like, for example, if I'm at work and my manager is talking to the other manager and I have a question and I don't want to sit there and be like, excuse me, or hello. So I kind of just stand there awkward and then wait for them to approach me. Like, does anybody else do that? I don't know. They probably think I'm a weirdo, but, or like a group of people. I don't talk. Like, I will let them do the talking. Now, if I do have somebody beside me, I may be like, so-and-so. Like, ask them a question or something. But that's all I'm going. I'm not going to engage in the conversation. I'm not going to start the conversation. No, I'm not doing that. And with some certain people, it's hard to keep, like, the conversation going. And it's only with certain people, too. Like, it's not with everybody. So, like, one girl might be like, my goldfish died last night, and we had a funeral for him this morning. What do you say to that? What could you possibly say? I'm sorry? You want me to send you some flowers? Like, what do you want from me? Why are you telling me that? What do I say? And that's why I don't engage in conversation. I don't like it. But if you come to me, great. Hey girl, what's up? I do try my best, but if you're telling me the goldfish story, just save it. Don't tell me that. I don't know. Anyways, something else that people do that may come across as rude is talking too much. Sometimes I do this because it might be silent, and then you think, gosh, we need to talk. This is so awkward. So you talk about something totally random, and you don't know when to shut up. And then when you get home and you're like, wait, I talked for the whole 30 minutes. And then you think about it for the rest of the night. And then you get to overthinking. And then you can't sleep. And then it's a whole cycle. Maybe that's not like rude, but it's definitely, I don't know. Is it? Because the other person, maybe they wanted to tell their story. And you were rude talking the whole time. But really, it was because you were nervous. And that goes for interrupting too. I don't know why people with anxiety tend to interrupt sometimes. Really, the talking too much, sorry, like, especially if it's a topic that, like, I'm passionate about. You talk to me about mental health, girl, I can talk to you all day about it. You want to talk to me about my business? Girl, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? But all 8 of these that I just gave you, these come across as rude to other people. People that don't have anxiety, people that don't understand. That comes across as rude. And coming from somebody with anxiety, we don't mean to be rude. We're just trying our best. I mean, yeah, they do come across as rude, but that doesn't mean that you are, It's important to remember that having anxiety, it's okay, and that you're doing the best that you can with it. That is going to be it for this week's episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys have thought about this episode. And also let me know if you want shorter episodes or longer episodes. I'm really in between. I want to do longer, but I want to do shorter. And I don't know. What do you guys think? And if you have any topic suggestions that you want me to discuss, let me know. Send them my way. Make sure you shop wildhair.com. That is my brand. Follow UOB Podcast on Instagram and anywhere that you stream podcasts. Leave us a review. Why did I say us? It's just me. Leave me a review. And I hope you guys have an amazing week just whenever you guys are listening to this. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye.